Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗧𝗏. Today guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, reviewing what's been going on most recently and what we think is likely to happen next. As I get into the video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗀. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is in the description below. Let's jump right down into this video. So let's take a look. Right here we have XRP paired up with USDT using the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗀 spot exchange on the 1 hour time frame, and we were tracking this idea that we were looking for a fifth wave movement to the upside between 48.131 and 48.376. This is still technically possible, but there are some worrying signs. One, how long it's taken for this to play out. I think this essentially means that we're unlikely to see this fifth wave as a fifth wave movement at this point, so I'm quite happy to kind of remove that off there. I think essentially our C wave is here complete, and I'm going to tidy this out. That means that we can look at this as just a three-wave pattern upwards now. We'll just pull it in here to keep it nice and simple, right? So we can see the ABC structure. Now, it does look like we've moved down quite significantly, at least significant move. Anyway, let's take a look at what that might be. Let's go ahead and just pull this over. We can see here that we come down. We've actually settled right into the expected range between 1 and 1.236. So again, nothing too difficult here, quite simple ABC structure. Now, the concern that I have is a double top situation happening here at 47.649. Let's go ahead and just zoom in on that. You can see right here, this is going to be the issue. Are we able to kind of push on through it? Now, I'm looking at many of the other kind of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, for example, and they're not looking so hot on these smaller time frames right now, and this could be basically indicating to us that this might be a bit of a turn to the downside, and therefore this double top situation that we're seeing here might become very, very bearish. You can see this wick though, there's lots of buying pressure, so this gives us a lot of confidence right inside here, but essentially this range at 47.380 and 47.557, we'll have to see whether it's going to hold up, basically finding support on the 200 EMA. So it's going to be one of those. In theory, we should push up higher. I'm just not so confident on it right now. So again, the three-wave pattern that we would be or should be expecting at this point, in my opinion, would be a push up towards that slightly higher range at 47.712 to 47.790. I'll put a yellow box in there right now, but again, just be super cautious. There isn't a lot more give to the upside, I don't think. This here would basically be a three-wave pattern right inside here. That would then basically stunt or truncate our C-wave structure here. Again, that would then make us look like our bearish structure overall has to come on down a bit deeper. This just means that we're getting a bigger move to the downside before we can get that run to the upside. This is okay. It's not terribly too difficult to kind of deal with. We could probably short if we do get this kind of double top and bearish kind of formation here and take advantage of that. But I think for the most part, I probably will leave XRP alone. I think there's better opportunities in other cryptocurrencies right now from a short-term trading point of view. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I think XRP is heading here on the smaller time frame. To me, it looks like we have the potential for a small push upwards, but I'm not holding my breath. Essentially, the next move, realistically speaking, is to the downside, where we lose this local low at 47.1. That means that there is a short-in opportunity here, but I say it's not massive. It's around 1.35%. On leverage, could be pretty meaty, but for the most part, I think you're going to get better opportunities with other cryptocurrencies, whether that's Cardano's ADA or VeChain's VET token, for example. Moving over into the daily time frame, what does this mean? Well, it doesn't really mean terribly too much changes to the daily. It still looks like we have lots of progression to the upside, but I am a little concerned over a couple of things that are happening here. One, our stochastic RSI is almost overbought. This is basically going to give us a really hard time trying to push up towards our 60-cent range target, and essentially it means that we're more than likely going to have to break on down even further. Now, this break to the downside, if we were to see it, how low do I think it's going to go? Well, I think if this is the case and we are likely to come on down further, then we are going to have to be targeting out 42 0.3 to 40.7 cent, and that will be basically testing the low trend line down here. So let me go ahead and just get rid of this, that part there, so you can kind of see we've been having this trend line. Could be looking at trying to test in this trend line and then maybe moving up. A wick down here, possibly. It just means that the B wave would drop down lower, and again our targets would have to drop down just fractionally as well. So that's kind of where that might sit. It's a bit too soon to know. I would say that the opportunities here are that we can see a potential move into this range, and that forms a potential bearish structure that we could see getting rejected on our daily 50 EMA that could bring us down into that targeted range for a good short opportunity. But again, I still think there's going to be better opportunities elsewhere when that, or if that kind of comes to fruition. Doesn't distract us from our bigger move, because I do think our local low is likely to hold. That's currently coming in down here at 41 cent. Now, because we haven't broken higher than 58.5, we have to consider there is a bearish alternative, and that bearish alternative takes us to 39. It's not something that I think is likely to occur, but it's something to kind of consider. Okay, so 39 cent is something that I've called out on the chart as an interesting area of previous resistance, and there is one bearish situation here that would allow us to kind of consider that as an option, and that is essentially this one just here, this kind of big ABC structure. What I'll do is I'll make it white to make it stand out a little bit, so you can see it in contrast to the yellows. You can see it right in here, right? Big A coming down, the A coming down towards our 41.06. We moved up to 56.58, and then we moved down to 39.8, right? Very bearish, but I don't think that's necessarily going to play out. I still like this idea of this bullish movement to the upside, targeting out the 60 cent range. Okay, so that's kind of where that one sits for me right now. I think we're in a pretty reasonable position, and I do think that there's a lot of progression to the upside to be had here on XRP. Essentially though, I'm looking for micro movements down, but macro movements to the upside. Hopefully that makes sense, and I think I'm going to leave the video right there. If you found this useful and informative, smash that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, selecting all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what you're waiting for, check it out. Link is in the description below. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.
We are not financial advisors. None of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.